Good to see you guys. I have a little bit of a different video for you today. Not as much so, it is on experience, but this actually kind of relates to a video I put out a while ago. A common question that I've had is what gear I use myself and how I use the gear. Now, as I put out in a previous video, the gear that you have doesn't matter. A lot of times it's, simpler gear. If you're trying to make a YouTube channel, for example, just by having a phone, just start making videos. Something that I learned early on, I would have, try with really good gear, even like phones. I've tried a mix of different things. The workflow itself is very important because I would spend so much time on my computer on Final Cut Pro. I'd be editing videos, I'd be spending so much time editing it. And as you know, my channel is really, really small right now. And it's still pretty new. And the production value, I would try to put more effort into color grading and doing things like that when it would take me longer to make a video, and that's why ultimately I didn't have very many videos out. Get the gear that you have, make sure you have an idea, and start putting videos out, and that's really more important than the gear itself. Now, you do need certain gear, if you want to make YouTube videos, you do need a camera. Phones are really good, like iPhones have really good cameras nowadays. Those are really good. So any really phone, if you have a smartphone, and you can get like a little microphone for it, maybe even a little tripod, or lean it up against a book or two, boom, you're good to go. You can edit it. I had a buddy who was editing phones on his iPhone SE, and that was, at that point, it's dedication, because you're trying to put something out, and yeah, you want to make sure that the quality is good and that you're putting out a good video. But at the same time, if you're worrying about your gear and you're worrying about your lighting and you're worrying about your production value, and that is actually slowing down the rate of things that you can put out, it's ultimately going to hurt you. So without further ado, I will show you guys what gear I use. So to start off with, the backpack that I use. Now, this is a Herschel Supply Co. backpack. This is one that is a little bit more outdoorsy. As you can see, it's got the straps right here, and you even have the sternum support. So this one is a little bit more outdoorsy, more for backpacking. It's kind of top-loaded, and it's got the hood over the top. The brain, as it's called sometimes. So you definitely don't need anything like this at all. I like having these guys because I actually do go outdoors, and I like having that extra little bit of waterproof. And really cool, this backpack actually has a laptop bag. So it has the top pouch right here. It's got a little bag where I keep a few cables, which I will show you guys in a few moments. Inside, it's hard to see, but it has one backpack, the main pouch, and then it has just a little strap. It's very dark in there because it's a pretty big backpack for a 15-inch laptop. So two water bottle holders on the side, and that's about it. It's pretty straightforward. I really like it. It's got a little bag on the bottom too for a rain pouch that you can actually put a rain cover on the whole backpack if it starts raining. It's good cushion as well for your laptop, so I definitely would recommend. Herschel makes really good backpacks. There's definitely a lot of other good ones out there. Really, you just want something that protects your gear because you wouldn't want to break it. And then for my editing rig, I use a, this is actually a new one. I'm thinking of making a video soon. Let me know if you want to see that. This is a 2018 15-inch MacBook Pro. This guy's one of the, it's got a dedicated graphics card, I believe a Radeon, I don't even remember the generation for it. And it's got a i7 running 6 cores, so that's the new iteration for these guys. Now, something that people really don't like is right up here, let's see if the camera focuses. It may not. You might still be able to see it. This is a Thunderbolt 3 port, so it doesn't have the old USB ones, which I don't use very much, which I'm okay with. The main thing that I don't like about it is that it doesn't have an SD card slot, but at the end of the day, it's a really good computer. It edits really well, and I like to use Final Cut Pro, so it's not something that I can run on like a custom-built Windows computer. So that's my computer. I've really enjoyed this one. Let me know if you want to see a video for it, because I've definitely thought about showing my thoughts on it, especially with a lot of experience with Macs that I have myself. Now, to connect to it, I do a lot of video editing on the go and just for fast speeds. These guys right here are amazing. So this is a Samsung T5 SSD. It's 500 gigabytes. It's very, very small, and I have a Thunderbolt 3 cable hooked up to it, so this connects right into my computer. I don't need a dongle. People complain about dongles for these things, but this connection is so fast. That's the original point of having a computer like that. You connect this and you get really, really fast speed. I believe it's several hundred megabytes per second. I think up to 300 megabytes per second. So I keep that guy in a little pouch just like this one right here. So this little pouch I got off of Amazon. I'll link everything below. In here, I like to be very organized. I don't like having loose cables in my computer or in my bag. So in here I have a little storage clip for SD cards. Definitely you can fit a ton of these. These are like $5 on Amazon. I recommend it so you don't lose your SD cards. Another USB-C cable, a Mac charger, and I usually keep in here one of these guys as well. So I don't use this guy too much. I've tried to just actually get all the new connectors. This is an adapter, so I can actually use it for SD cards. I got it on Amazon. It's for the MacBook Pros. It works for anything with a USB-C port. So you get the old USB 3.0 ports, micro SD, and then you get a USB-C pass-through. So these guys are really good. I usually keep this guy in here, so that way it's all organized just like that. And then this actually came with, right now Herschel's doing it, so I'd recommend if you want to hop on there. I believe they're still doing it. So they have a little pencil pouch. You guys saw it a few minutes ago. This is a pencil case, but nobody really uses pencil cases. At least I don't, because I have like one pencil in my backpack and one pen, that's about it. But these guys are really good for organizing cables. So these are, like I mentioned, these are adapters. For example, I have an HDMI adapter right here in case I need it. I don't use it very much, but there are places that don't just have the USB-C connection. It is gonna be added more in the future. Same with, I already have it on the other one, but this is a USB-C to regular USB 3.0 port. This is the one Apple makes. I have, this is actually a little more useful. This is another USB-C cable, a iPhone charging cable, and this one's kind of useful in case I want to share what I have on my drive with other people. So the drive itself is USB-C, so this is actually backwards compatible, but it's a USB-C to USB 3.0 cable. So I can connect one end into my drive and one end I can do a USB-C cable straight end to end into my computer, or I can do this to plug it into older computers. I don't need this cable to plug in my drive to my computer because it's a straight connection. This helps it be compatible with older things. It came with it. So I love organizing with these and with these, because these are the two little cable things. I just throw these anywhere, usually in the top pouch of my bag, and then I will throw in my computer. A lot of times if I'm going to school, if I'm just going around, I'll have like a notebook in there, a couple pens, and of course what you're seeing on right now, I'll throw a picture in there, but the camera that I actually use myself, I do a lot of photography. It actually only shoots 1080p, but it's a full frame camera. This is a Canon 6D Mark II. I thought about getting the 5D Mark IV, but that is super expensive, and like I mentioned, you don't necessarily need super expensive gear. I don't believe this camera shoots in 4K. If it does, it's like 4K 30p, which I'd rather shoot. You're seeing this actually in 1080p. You get a little bit smoother frame rate. I'm shooting at 60 frames per second, so it gets a little bit more light in there, I guess I would say. Looks a little bit smoother. My microphone is a Rode microphone. It's one of those fuzzy, you can kind of see right here, I'll kind of push it down. It's one of those, I believe they call them the dead cat mufflers on top, and honestly it's not even that expensive a mic, but it's really good. If you're going to be making videos, sound quality is actually a big part. If you have really good looking video and bad audio, it takes away. So a lot of times what they say is if you have really good audio, you won't even notice. If you think about movies, they have really good audio and that's normal. It sounds like you're in the room with them. But if a video looks good and it has really bad audio, it'll just totally kill it. So make sure, you know, I'd recommend at least, what I used to do actually, I would make videos and I would have the Apple headphones that had the microphone, and I would actually have it looped around. And I would connect that into my camera or into my phone and have my phone up here. So at least you have something that's closer, so you're not going across the room with a phone microphone. So those are definitely tips that I would recommend. Sometimes I travel with this guy. So the lens that I'm using, a lens kit right now, I believe is it's comparable to 18-35 that Sigma makes. I used to have that lens for my crop sensor. This is full frame, so Sigma doesn't make an 18-35. This is Canon's equivalent. I think it's a 17-35, I believe. f1.2, really good. It came with the kit with that one and this one. This guy is a 50mm lens, Canon as well. The other one is a L series lens, so those are usually really good. This one still has really good glass in it, and it has the little aperture, or sorry, the focal point adjuster right there. I really love these because then if you're doing a lot of night photography or you just need to zoom real quick, you can basically tell like boom right where it is for your basically your focal length. And I believe that's about it. Some other things I like to keep if you have, for example, more for computer stuff, but I have a 5 terabyte drive with a power pass through, so it actually charges my computer while I connect to it. So that's usually for archiving things. I archive all my old videos in there, but everything that I work off of, my computer's 256 gigabytes, which is a pretty decent amount, but I like to work off of here so that way it doesn't clutter my computers. This is 500 gigs, and I edit from here. That's why I like SSDs, because it's fast enough where I can edit from here. If you have a spinning hard drive, you can't edit as quickly. And last but not least, sometimes I'll throw this in if I'm going to be using a tabletop. This is a MX Master. It's a 2S. Logitech makes really good mice. This is a super comfortable mouse, probably the most comfortable mouse you're going to use. Really good for video editing. You have a few scrolly wheels, a side scrolly wheel. You can find even videos out there dedicated to just this mouse. Honestly, I am a huge fan. I had the original one and it stopped working. That was the part that I didn't like. That one worked for about a year and then it just kind of stopped. So I ended up just kind of biting the bullet and biting the 2S because I love it that much, and there's not other good wireless mice out there. But even then, the trackpad on my laptop, I really enjoy it. So that's about it for today. Let me know if you want to see other videos about specific things, if you like videos like this. Definitely let me know. If you don't, let me know too. I'm trying to figure out, what people like, and just kind of sharing what I do, my experiences, stuff like that. That's kind of my general goal. I do want to make a video coming up if there's any car enthusiasts out there. I'm about to hit my year mark with my Super BRZ, and it's definitely a different car to drive that a lot of people enjoy. Stick shift, really, really good handling. So anyway, if you want to see a video about it, let me know. I'm trying to collaborate with one of my buddies who has a WRX, kind of compare and contrast. And so if you do like those things, let me know. Apart from that, I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.